Chapter 57. You heard right, LaRue, Warble confirms. Don't tell me you haven't heard of polled Herefords. Not wanting to bother humans who were busy with other things, early pollsters asked cows, which were domesticated in 1883 once the cowboy days ended, their opinions on anything and everything, which were usually, not unlike these hippies here, all screwed up. As just one example of how crazy these cows were, when they were asked what their favorite type of donuts were, they answered grass, clover, alfalfa, soybean, etc., which found no market among humans and put many bakeries out of business. Think of all the bakery investors who went bankrupt heeding those polls, when all along they should have been asking me. I'm more than willing to take time out to answer questions like that, anything for the good of the economy and my fellow consumers, especially if there are free samples involved. And besides, I'm an expert on donuts, especially the holes. There are donuts I know I like, chocolate, maple, jelly-filled, blueberry, etc. Donuts I know I don't like, spinach, sauerkraut, lima bean, etc. Donuts I don't know I like, but I don't know what they are, of course. And donuts I don't know I don't like. Again, some I haven't tried yet, but flavors I wouldn't like if and when I ate them, if I ever did, which I probably won't, but might. And then there are all the rest. That's deep, Jacques replies sarcastically. Well, I don't mean to show you up and make you feel bad, LaRue, Warble says, but I just can't help myself. A lion can't change his stripes, you know. In a classic case of stepwise refinement, the Hereford polls were finally replaced by Gallup polls. These stemmed from the days of the Pony Express, when riders would gallop from frontier town to frontier town, asking people all sorts of nosy questions. Mary has had enough. Warble, what has all this, she almost says nonsense, to do with us here and now? I'm getting to that, Mary. In our polls, the pinnacle of pollstering is reached. Of course, we will just ask people whose opinions we value. You can never go wrong with people who have doubled initials, such as A.A. Milne, B.B. King, C.C. Ryder, D.D. Ramon, E.E. Cummings, H.H. Hornblower, J.J. Cool Bell, L.L. Bean, R.R. Crossing, S.S. Titanic, and Z.Z. Top. Z.Z. Top is not a person, it's a little old rock and roll band from Tejas, Albert objects. Says who, Warble challenges. Says me. I know those guys personally. Billy Bob Thornton, Dustin the Wind, and Frank James, Albert jokes. Warble, of course, doesn't get it. It doesn't matter anyway. Those people aren't here, and besides, Texas is part of Mexico, thank God. Now, remember? So we have to ask ourselves. And who better to ask than us? Well, actually me, as I know everything worth knowing. Soundtrack note. How about Nobody Loves Me But My Mother by B.B. King, followed by Psychotherapy by the Ramones, C.C. Ryder by Ray Charles, Celebrate by Kool and the Gang, and topped off with Sharp Dressed Man by ZZ Top here. So here's what we do. We propagate the propaganda by changing the lyrics to all the songs that will be performed here at this festival or concert or whatever these wigged-out freaks want to call their little shindig. We promote war in every song, and in no time flat everyone will be transfixed, mesmerized, and hypnotized with no thoughts other than, point me to the recruitment office, cats and chicks. Such as, Comfy asks, what lyrics are you in particular planning on changing? Well, I wish my favorite bands were here to play them, namely the Bureaucrats of Utopia, Wasted Staples, In Cahoots and Aztec Haulers, Monorail Spoon Rocket, Rot Cheer, Deviated Septums, Brute Force and Ignorance, the Coal Mine Canaries, Umbrellas Turned Inside Out, the Non-Returning Boomerangs, Rubber-Tired Dozer, Unstoppable Velocity, the Plug Uglies, Pocket Full of Rocks, Vacant Stare, Charmed Quark and the Anti-Quarks, Semantic Inversion, Willing Suspension of Disbelief, the Concatenated Order of Hoo-Hoos, the Society for the Prevention of Burying People Alive, Interrobang, the Border Ruffians, the Cosmetic Cucumbers, Were You Not, Screeching Weasel, and, last, but certainly not least, Mule Donkey and the Sterile Asteroids. But we'll just have to make do with these other dorks. So we'll pull the old bait and switch, and the crowd will hear the following songs thanks to our lyrical intrusions and improvements. I'm Going In by 10 Years Later. Feel Like I'm Fixin' to Kill Charlie by Country Jack and the Fishmongers. With a Little Help from My Buddies by Joe Cocker Spaniel. Teach Your Recruits Well by Bing Crosby, Still Life, Ramblin' Nash Elliott, and the Young Rascals. Summer in the Jungle by Johann Sebastian and his Howling Commandos. Everyday Bombings by Sly and the Family Stallone. If I Had a Machine Gun by Pedro, Paolo, and Marianne. Peace, What Is It Good For by Edwin R. Starr Murrow. Soundtrack note: if we can't get the original artists to redo these songs in this new way, perhaps we can talk Weird Al Yankovic into recording them. After the closing encore rave-up, when all of them play those songs simultaneously with their amplifiers cranked up to 11, we'll be standing at the gates handing out machine guns to the former flower children as they storm their way out of this pasture and move out on the double to the recruiting stations. You're a genius, Warble, Mary intoned, shaking her head. I know it, Warble replies nonchalantly, and soon the whole world will know it too. Not that they didn't already.